Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am super excited because I finally received my Amor Eterno eyeshadow palettes and the liquid lipsticks that they released with this. So I have been dying to try these on because they look so beautiful on the Melt Cosmetics Instagram stories and posts. So just couldn't wait. Now that they are finally here, I know my favorite or the palette that I'm most excited about is the Muerte palette right here. So I'm going to be trying this today. I'll swatch it on my eyes, try creating some eye looks with this palette and give my first impression review. And I will make another tutorial / video of the Vida palette. So let's get right into it. So here I have the Muerte palette. Check out the beautiful packaging. The roses on this is embossed. So the box that it came in is actually simple, like plain, but the packaging has these embossed roses, which is beautiful. And when you open this, there's a mirror that again has this beautiful golden work. This has amazing blues and greens and reds. It's just such an interesting wintry blue dark palette. So I'm going to be swatching this on my arm and show how it works. So before I start swatching, I just want to put it out there that the eyeshadow names in this palette are in Spanish. I am nowhere close to Spanish, so pretty sure I'm going to ruin at least some of the pronunciation, so bear with me. And what I like about this palette, first of all, and I think most Melt Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes, is they're already arranged in some sort of order, which I really like. So you have this ascending order of blues and a descending order of reds, which I really appreciate. So I'm just going to swatch these in the same order that they're placed in. So I'll start with the first shade, and this is this beautiful green shade, and it's called Angelito or Angelito. Yeah, I told you. So this is this beautiful shimmery green shade. Next is Lagrimas, I think, and this is this matte sea green shade, and this is how they compare. So this is, and they feel they don't feel chalky, they feel nicely matte. I'm guessing there might be some fallout. Let's see. I'll try them on my eyes, but this one's Duello, and this is how it swatches. So this, I think there is some bit of fallout when I'm swatching. I hope that's not the case when I try it on my eyes. And just one more time. So that's Duello. Next is this really gray shade, and it's called Pantheon. I don't know. So that's the gray one. Next, I have this amazing blue shade, and I think it really matches my sweater, and that is this navy blue shade, and it's called Noche Eterna, and I think it means eternal night because I know noche means night, and I'm guessing eterna means eternal. So this is this beautiful blue shade. Next is this shimmery blue shade, and it's this navy blue shiny shade. It feels really creamy, and it's called Katrina, and that's how it looks. Oh, it's so pretty. Whoa, I love it. Next is this really deep burgundy shade, brown burgundy something, and it's called Velorio, and this is how, oh man, look at the pigment in that. Whoa, love it. And the other slightly lighter shade is Sangre, and I think I was reading somewhere that this means blood. I don't know, I think so. Maybe it looks like blood. So yeah, I did a little bit of research on the names because I was curious to know what they actually mean. Even though I might ruin the pronunciation, at least I know the meaning. And I think this one is the red one, and it's called Corazon. And I think it means heart, and I might have swapped the meaning of these two. Maybe Sangre means heart and Corazon means blood. I don't know, but I think I got the order right. I'm not sure. And last one is Calica, and it's this shimmery gold shade. So here are all the swatches of the Muerte palette. So today for swatching these shades on my eye, I think I'm going to follow something different today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create various eye looks with these shades in such a way that you get to see how they work for blending or even as an all over shade over the eye. So you get an idea, plus you get a few eye looks out of this. So let's see how this goes. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I also bought one Melt Cosmetics brush, and this is the 87 transition brush. Let's see how this works as well. So what I'll start with is I'll take this Lagrima shade and apply it as a crease shade and see how it works. Oh wow, this is really pigmented and it's not chalky at all, as opposed to the Jeffree Star Conspiracy palette, the green shade in that, the light shade. First of all, it looks blue, it's not actually green, but that one is really chalky. This one definitely applies much better. And just to show you how it applies all over the eyelid, I'll just, with the same brush, I'll just apply it all over the eyes. Wow, it's really pigmented. I love that. Can you see that? Wow. Fab. All right. Next, I want to try this green shade, the Angelito shade, and I'm just going to go with my finger and apply this all over the eye. Let's see. So you want to go slow. I do feel there is fallout if you go heavy on the shade. So you might want to go a little slowly. And this is really like a very pigmented, nice green shade. And I do see there's fallout, so I'm just going to brush it. And there is a lot of green on my face now. So you want to be very careful. Just a note. And so yeah, I'm going to take a Sigma brush just so I don't ruin my face and pack the shade. Next, I want to try the Pantheon shade. So I'm just going to apply this at the bottom eye and going with a pencil brush. I'm just going to slowly pack it. I do see there is fallout on my face. So again, be careful. There it is. Next, I want to try this Duello shade all over my eye. I feel like this is a look that I would do most of the time. So again, using that same brush from Melt Cosmetics, the 87 transition brush. This is the shade Duello. And when I'm using this brush, I do see that there is fallout right here. So I am a little bit disappointed with the fallout of this palette, especially because these are super pigmented shades. So if you have a lot of fallout, they tend to leave pigment on the face and ruin your makeup. So that is definitely a drawback. So if fallout bothers you, then you might want to skip this palette. But the shade, the matte shade, really applies smoothly, and no, I don't see any problems with that. And maybe I should use a brush that is more like more densely packed rather than this. I saw this was being used on Instagram for even packing shades, so I thought it might work, but maybe this is not a good idea. So I should use a different packing brush to pack this matte shade. I'm going with a different brush and then again packing this Duello shade on my eye. And it definitely works better with this brush. So maybe that brush was a very bad idea. Okay, I really like this shade though. It's very beautiful. And just blending this out. And I feel like packing this Lagrima shade at the bottom eye. So I'll do that. Whoa, it's a bit much. Let me clean this up and come back. Now I'm just going to take this Calica shade with a pencil brush and just apply it in the inner corner of this eye. So right here. Just to lighten this up a little bit. And this is a very nice golden shade, very light, just I think perfect for the inner corner stuff. I'm not sure how it'll look on the eyelid. We'll try it out. I'm going to clean up my eye and try the other shades. And I thought I'll try this Calica shade. Now on my fingers it feels really powdery, so I'm not too optimistic about it. Let's see. So that is Calica. And it's kind of, it's okay. I don't think I'm a fan of this shade, honestly. It feels very powdery. I feel like there are so many better metallic shades, and this has you can't probably see, but there is fallout on my face, even though I'm going with my finger, and I don't think I'm going too heavy-handed, but I still see that there is fallout. So just to see how the Corazon shade works, I'll use it as a blending, I'll use it as a transition shade with my blending brush right here. Oh, I like this. It blends really easily. It's really pigmented. I like this shade. I'll just blend it out a little bit better with a bigger blending brush, and let's see how it blends. Yep, works fine. It looks so funny right now. I don't know how to revive this eye look. Let's see. So with the crease brush, I'm just going to go into this Sangre shade. Sangre. Apply it right here. Kind of pull this all together because right now I look quite funny. And even this shade applies really well. I actually want to try it out as an all over shade, so I'll do that on the other eye. Let's touch it up. I'll try to apply this shade with a brush. So this is the Morphe M124, and I'll apply it with the brush and see how it works. Works fine with the brush. I have to say it's much better than my finger, at least, which is surprising because usually these metallic shades usually work better with fingers, but I feel like this one works better with a brush. I'll just go in again with this Sangre shade. I'm just taking a pencil brush and going into the Sangre shade again and just apply it at the lower eyelid. Not sure if you can see, but there is a lot of fallout of the Calica shade. I don't see too much fallout with the Sangre shade, but strangely this Calica shade is really powdery, and yeah, at least with my fingers there was a lot of fallout. With the brush, if I went slowly, it was fine. So yeah, just so you know. So for the next eye, I want to create like a red smoky eye. So I'll just take the Corazon shade and apply it as a transition first of all. I really like this red. It's really easy to blend and nicely pigmented. So going with my Marc Jacobs packing brush, I hope this works. If not, I'll change it. So I will take the Sangre shade right here and apply it all over the eyes. Yeah, it works fine with this brush. Ooh, I really like this shade. Wow, this is such a pretty shade for a smoky eye. Now blending it out. No problemo. So one thing I do notice is that when I apply this shade, it applies red initially, but as it moves outside, it looks darker. I don't know if it is because it is mixing with the red shade and it's oxidizing or what, but it surely doesn't remain the red it is in the center, if you can see. See that? I wonder what that is. And I just want to blend this mess out a little bit. Also trying out the Velorio shade. So I want to apply this at the bottom eye. So again, I'll go with my pencil brush and just apply it at the bottom eye. Tap off the excess. I'm living for this red smoky eye look. It actually looks really good. And I'll just apply it right here as well. This is a bit darker than the Sangre shade. And I made a mess, so just cleaning up the craziness. Going with that Sangre shade one more time, just to pack it. I'm not entirely sure if there's a problem with my brush. I'm trying a different brush and just packing this Sangre shade. So I feel like there is a darker line outside. It's not the same shade. So I want to try this shade a little bit more before I make up my mind. But overall, I feel like this red smoky eye really looks good. So, and I do see fallout, so let me clean that. Alright, so I applied some false lashes and this is the first look, the gold and red. I will admit that the gold in this had a lot of fallout, so I wasn't the biggest fan of the shade, but I think the eye look is really wearable. I really like the other reds for sure. And this is the other eye look. I'm loving this red smoky eye look, and I do see that the red or the Sangre shade does look red on my eyelid, but for some reason it looks darker in my crease. I'm not sure if it is oxidizing after it gets mixed up with the Corazon shade, or if it is you know, mixing up with my skin tone and looking darker. I'm not sure. I'll need to play with it a little bit more. But besides that, I think I still really like the combination of these shades for this red smoky eye. So yeah, these are the two eye looks. So I have reserved the best ones for the end. They match my outfit. I'm most excited about this blue shade, so I'm going to create an eye look with this blue for both my eyes. So I'm going to take a transition brush and just go into this Duello shade and very lightly add it to my crease. And I've just added concealer to my eye. So, and it's quite tacky, but still I think it blends really well. Next, I'm going to go with this flat shader brush and dip into Amor Eterno and apply it all over the eye. I really like this blue shade. It's such a smart navy blue. Next, I will blend this out, and blends really easily, so that's great. And I just want to take a smaller brush and just deepen this blue shade on my crease, and I'll just pack the blue. Next, I want to see how Katrina applies. I'm just going to take it on my flat brush, and this is the Sonia G Builder 3 brush, and go into Katrina and again apply it all over the eyelid. So again, I do see fallout, and I didn't even take too much. So I think the fallout in the metallics is a bit more disappointing than the fallout in the matte shades. I think the mattes are much better than the metallics, honestly. Do you see that right here? This brush doesn't really you know, give a lot of fallout, but still I do see that happening. So yeah, and then blending it out. I forgot to mention that this blue is really beautiful. I was just so preoccupied with the fallout that I didn't address the fact that it is a very beautiful blue eyeshadow. Now I'm just applying it with my finger just to see, and I do see still there is fallout even if I go with my fingers. So yeah. So I was just completing my eye look and I thought this needs a little bit of gray. So I'm just going into the Pantheon shade and just applying it right at the corner with a tight crease brush, just to create some depth. Alright, so I finished the eye look, and in the inner corner I just applied Lagrimas, and this is how it looks. I really like this lovely metallic blue shade. It's got this chunkiness to it, a little bit of glitter to it, so it's pretty nice. So having tried all the shades from the Muerte palette, I wanted to share my final thoughts. So this palette retails for $58 with 10 shades. So each shade comes to around what, $6 or so. So I will say that this palette is definitely not a very cheap palette, and I think it comes in that expensive eyeshadow palette category. Now, I really liked the packaging of this palette. It's sleek, it's fabulous, it's got this beautiful skull, and it's very nice. I really like it. Coming to the shades, I felt like the matte shades were amazing in terms of the color payoff. They blended really easily and they packed in color very easily. The Sangre shade was a little bit weird because it was showing up red on the eyelid but slightly darker in the crease, which was quite strange, but I feel like that's fine. I still got a nice smoky red eye look with this, and even otherwise I think I'll always use this shade mostly in the lower eye or as a crease shade, so to create depth. So I feel like that's fine. I'm okay with that, and I will need to try this shade a little bit more with other shades and other palettes to see how it behaves, but I think it's fine. There was fallout with the matte shades, so that was kind of disappointing. The metallic shades, on the other hand, were kind of okay. I was expecting a little bit more from the metallic shades than how they performed, especially this Calica shade. So this is, first of all, these metallic shades are not actually metallic. They are kind of finely milled, glittery eyeshadows. So they did show up as glittery as they were supposed to, but this Calica shade was quite weird. Like, it was really powdery and there was so much fallout with this. Now, I wasn't expecting that, especially because there are so many gold shades out there, and even the ones that are glittery, usually they don't have so much fallout and they are really easy to work with. But this, no matter how I used this Calica shade, it just had gold all over my face. So I really was disappointed with that. The Angelito shade and the Katrina shade, they were nice. They look very pretty and they blended easily, but they are not as, especially this Katrina shade is not like super pigmented, but it looks pretty nice and blue. I like the shade, but I was expecting it to be a little bit more pigmented, which it wasn't, but nevertheless, I still like it. So yeah, that's what I think about this palette. So overall, the color story, the packaging, the pigment, everything was good. The only thing that bummed me out about this palette was basically the fallout, and I think it's a little bit expensive than it should be. So this was my opinion on the Muerte palette. I will be playing with this palette a little bit more before I make up my mind. Let me know if you'd like to see more eye looks using this palette. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you subscribe to my channel. I will be posting more first impression swatches video of the lipsticks of the Amor Eterno collection as well as the Vida palette, so stay tuned for that. And until the next time we meet, bye!